Got the chick, I call it Lola. She feel like the ocean, like to drink and smoke some Doja. And I feel like smoking, plus she...
Some viewers may find this disturbing. Viewer discretion is advised.
This is my pee-pee. 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 This is my pee-pee.
Oh my god! I still haven't found my berries, but I found these.
What the fuck? Did that nigga just eat a booty flake? Oh hell no!
Number 5. Cooking for Bae. Just from the name itself, you would think that this Instagram account is full of photos of delicious and sumptuous meals that their boyfriends or girlfriends cook for their bae. Well, you're wrong. Cooking for Bae contains the worst and, at times, disgusting photos of food ever Instagram, and regramming it, which basically is posting it on Instagram again under their own account. As the warning suggests, it's not for the weak stomachs. Number 4. Kyle Hukulek. Kyle Hukulek is a makeup artist and creature creator that is known for creating different masks like Jason Voorhees mask and Michael Myers mask. Kyle's Instagram account is full of images of his creations, ranging from the facehugger from Alien to lifelike prosthetics. If you're looking for everything spooky, creepy, and crazy, you'll find it all here. Number 3. Jagor. Jagor's Instagram account comes with a warning. Don't like, don't follow. Explicit content. Not for the faint-hearted. Blood, gore, sex. Horror, dark, twisted, macabre, evil. His photographs ranges from women wearing creepy masks to zombified Disney princesses. One photo even depicts a dead Winnie the Pooh lying in a pond. So if you want to ruin your childhood or just want to be awake at night, just visit his Instagram account. Number 2. Mottmeister. Now this account is what nightmares are made of. According to Mottmeister and her girlfriend, they portray anonymous, ugly masked creatures as a reaction against the dominant exhibitionism of the selfie culture and beauty standards marketed by the mass media. Mottmeister and her girlfriend are taxidermy collectors, and that they like to reincarnate these dead critters into fairy tale figures by dressing them up like the Victorian taxidermist Walter Potter did. Although the photos are really stunning and the concept is really unique, it's just a nope for me. Number 1. Nicole and Jamie. Nicole and Jamie is a 35-year-old mother of 3 and a pathologist assistant living in New Jersey. Her Instagram account features images of mangled bodies, autopsies, and horrific injuries. Nicole has recently come under fire for posting hundreds of gruesome photos without permission of the deceased relatives. Anyway, I wouldn't recommend you visiting her account if you're pretty squeamish and wouldn't like to lose your appetite just like me.
These 5 Wikipedia pages that we're about to show you have very disturbing backstories to it. Number 5. Soap made from human corpse. In the early 20th century, there were rumors that the Germans were producing soap from human corpse. However, the rumors were dismissed and were claimed to be false. Nearly 25 to 30 years later, during World War II, the rumors began to circulate again, and it was believed that soap was being produced in mass quantities from the bodies of the victims from the Nazi concentration camps. It was stated that the Germans were suffering from a shortage of fat during the war, and so the production of soap was halted by the government. The rumors started when the initials RIF were printed on the soaps, which stood for Reichsjudenfett, meaning State Jewish Fat. Despite dismissing the disturbing rumor, it came to light at the Nuremberg trial. A lab assistant from the Danzig Anatomic Institute testified that the soap had been made from corpse fat at the camp, and that more than 70 kilograms of fat were collected from 40 bodies to produce a small amount of soap. Number 4. Radium Girls. In 1902, the subject of radioactivity was new to researchers. Nobody knew too much about it, so its properties and dangers were not well investigated. Radium is an element that has a slight blue-green glow to it and contains a natural warmth to it. When the element was first discovered, it seemed like a fascinating material and were used as a recipe at one point and was given to soldiers to read their wristwatch without knowing the danger of it. US Radium Corporation were producing these watches filled with radium, and women would be the main workers in the factory. These women would use the glowing paint to paint the lines on the wristwatch and were advised to use their lips and tongue to keep the tips on the paintbrush sharp and clean. 20 years later, Grace Fryer became a bank teller. She experienced symptoms such as falling teeth and swollen jaw. When the doctor x-rayed her entire body, it was discovered that her bones were decaying at a very fast rate. The disturbing part is that the company employing these women were well aware of the effects but never came to light about it. Instead, when allegations were made against the company, they dismissed it by saying that the women were spreading a severe case of syphilis. Number 3. The Silent Twins. June and Jennifer Gibbons were twins who were classified as troubled teenagers. The two were pretty much inseparable, and they would only speak to each other and no one else. This odd behavior led people into thinking that they were mutes. Although they were reserved to themselves, and in extremity, they were gifted writers. They wrote a number of novels, but none of their novels were published. During their teenage years, they became heavy alcoholics and drug addicts. In 1981, they tried to burn down a tractor store. Few weeks after that, they were caught vandalizing a property and attempted to burn down a technical college. The very disturbing part about their story is that the twins believed that if either of them wanted to live a normal life, then one must die. And they made a pact that if one dies, then the other one would have to speak and interact like everybody else. Jennifer would eventually be the one to agree to be sacrificed for the goodness of her sister. The sisters were beginning the rehabilitation back into the real world and were transferred to the clinic known as Caswell. That day, Jennifer complained of a headache. She was transported to the hospital where she was pronounced dead from a sudden inflammation of the heart. Her death was very mysterious, as an